Art is life. For me, art is something that comes from lived life.
My name is Sophie Dupont, and we are in my exhibition Breathe at Holstebro Museum. It's an exhibition that focuses on sensing. It's anchored into different ways of connecting with breathing. I have worked for around 17 years with the subject of breath. At this exhibition, I have made many new works, a video work that focus on how we breathe in different emotions. I have worked with local people, and we have explored the different ways we breathe when we go into different emotions. I'm interested in exploring all these invisible aspects of being. And in part of the videos, they kind of go out of focus. It's my collaboration with a brain researcher called Malte Sørensen. I have worked with him to research how we breathe, how we feel, and the brain function. Each person has gone into this video manipulation where you see the extension of the rib cage, you see the chest expand even more. And it's to, again, kind of to emphasize the invisible. My overall theme is always to ask what it is to be human. It's how to work around the core of life. I made a wind machine. It comes from an inspiration from the Navajos. I was listening to a lecture, and in the Navajos, they believe in the wind god. They have this saying, where the wind stops, the breathing begins. It's all the time this interaction between the wind and the person, the breath and the wind. I always thought it was a beautiful visualization of how we are connected to the world, like a spirit and inspiration is the same word. So in this way, the wind and the breathing and the inspiration is connected. We are spiritual beings the moment we breathe. We have different elements that are from my former, some of my older sculptures. And one of them is a sculpture called Two, which consists of two glass couples where you go in and you are very, very connected to one other person. I have created a scent, and it's created with Emmanuel Martini, who is a perfumerist. I knew that I wanted a scent in the exhibition, so I thought, what about a scent that makes you want to breathe? To create a scent where our memory would be awakened. There are 3 plates of, it looks a little bit like mirrors, but it's aluminium, and it works from 2018, where I have been marking my breath from sunrise to sunset. And every time I breathe, I place a mark into this material. And it's in fact a work that I have now performed around 35 times all around the world. And it's always somehow related with material and size, with the specific place that I am. When I started to work with the breathing, when I started to work with performance, it was mostly just me. And I found out that it's not really about my breath. It's not my breath that is the most important thing. It's your breath. It's that we share the breath, that we are together breathing. And it reflects you. So suddenly by when you have watched the videos, suddenly you look at yourself. So my hope is that they have the function of a mirror, that people look in them and they say, and what is my emotion at this time? There is 3 microphones, and my idea is that the people who come, they take the microphone, you give a voice, a breath to your inner emotion. That's the idea. This whole exhibition is kind of an invitation to go inside. I think everything about how we have structured the world is in fact always to take your focus outside yourself, that you always have to engage with something outside yourself. A lot of the works are very playful, have playful elements. The sound of time, which consists of a conch and an hourglass. So you have the sound of the sand running through the hourglass, and you have the conch, and it's 2 different ways to relate with time. And what does time mean for you? Time is very abstract. It's very different how we relate with time. As soon as I invite people to be part of my work, I have to lose control. Like, I cannot, if they do something different than what I wanted them to do, I needed to think it's part of the work. I cannot choreograph people, because also that's life. It's life that when you invite life, it can grow in many different directions. And in fact, I loved this. I loved when I work with people, that people give so much from themselves. And this way, where the breathing, where you had all the emotion expressed through the breath, it was kind of a space, and everybody could accept the space. It was not oversharing. It was okay, because it was breathing. But we all know what it's about. And this, I don't know, I'm just fascinated by this with the breath, that it's not a language, but it's a language. And we all know it. We all know this language, no matter from where we are, no matter the color of our skin, no matter our sexuality. We all know the language of the breath. One of the other earlier works that is part of the exhibition is called Reaching. And it's a sculpture of 2 glass pipes, and you can try to reach the person opposite yourself. And if your arms is as long as mine, you can reach the other. But if not, you might not be able to reach the other person. This work I made also for questioning. What does it mean to reach each other? What does it mean to connect? In all of my works, I think there is kind of the attempt to connect, the trying, the wanting to connect, the wanting to be part of something, to be part of life. No matter what, you are being aware of your physical existence. Because all my works, when you interact with them, they have some kind of a physics. And in this way, I think you interact in different ways with the sculpture. You will always have a bodily interaction, more or less, that you become part of the sculpture. Since I started to build my first bigger installations, I worked with blacksmiths, I worked with engineers, I worked with glass blowers, and latest I worked with a brain researcher. And I think no matter what different expert in different fields that I work with, I love how that can interfere with my practice. I really try, when I work with rest, I rest. It's not an image of rest. I invite people to rest with me. When I breathe, I ask people to breathe with me. But then it became this kind of an activist act to insist on breathing, insist on resting, insist on existence. Not because you want to accomplish something, but just because that's life. Life is to listen, to breathe together with the other person. You can call it a soft activism, because I think life is subtle. And also back to my video work, I was not so sure that this work would work how I intended it, because in the process of making it, I thought, is it interesting? Because is there differences between communicating the emotions in kind of a silence. We have the breathing, but it's silence. We're not saying, I'm angry because of this or this, or I'm sad because of that and that. It's really just expressions without language. For me, yes, I think it works. For me, all the different people, and I'm very grateful for all the people who are part of this work, that all these small subtlenesses between our emotional realities, that it's magical, because it shows the big variety and differences that we are, each one of us, and all of them are beautiful. Everything that I've done until now, I continue the work with the breathing, the marking breath. I've done it since 2009. I continue the resting. I continue my sleeping, where I'm doing big imprints when I sleep. And I really see the video work with the people breathing as an archive now, that I will continue to, it will expand. Like, this is the Holstebro version. Later there will be a Sorø version, and they will be mixed together. And I see it as it will just expand. And of course, I'm not sure at this moment where my next work, but I see that everything that I begin has this kind of a series. I love series somehow. It's very strong for me to collect. Maybe I'm a collector in life. I collect life.